Some cats walk into your life with their heads held high. Luna was not one of them. When she was first found, she was hiding under a parked car, small, shaking, soaked from the cold. Her eyes were wide and they never stopped moving. She was watching for the next threat, because in her short life, that was all the world had ever given her, threats. Nobody knew where she came from. Nobody had reported a missing kitten. She was just there one morning, tucked into the shadows, too frightened to move and too weak to run. A young woman named Sarah spotted her on the way to work. She knelt down slowly. She held out her hand, and Luna hissed. It was a tiny, broken sound, more fear than anger, but the message was clear: stay away. Most people would have walked on. Sarah didn't. She came back that evening with a small bowl of food. She set it down a few feet away and simply sat on the cold pavement, waiting. She didn't reach. She didn't rush. She just stayed. For almost an hour, nothing happened. Then, at the very last moment, Luna crept forward, grabbed a single bite, and vanished back into the dark. It wasn't much, but it was something. Sarah came back the next night, and the night after that. Slowly, the distance between them began to shrink, 1 foot, then half a foot, until one evening, Luna ate while Sarah was still sitting there, watching her with soft, patient eyes. That was the night Sarah made a decision. She couldn't leave this little one on the street, so she wrapped Luna gently in her jacket and took her home. But bringing a frightened cat inside is only the beginning of the story. The moment Luna arrived in the apartment, she bolted. She found the smallest, darkest corner behind the couch and pressed herself into it. And there she stayed, for days. She wouldn't come out. Not for food, not for water, not for the gentle voice calling her name. All Sarah could see were 2 wide eyes glowing in the shadows, watching, always watching. If you've ever loved something that was too afraid to love you back, you know exactly how this felt. Sarah worried she had made a mistake. Maybe some cats are just too broken. Maybe Luna would spend her whole life hiding from a world that had hurt her too many times. Friends told her the same thing. Some strays never come around, they said. You did your best, just let her be. But Sarah wasn't ready to give up. Not yet. So she changed her approach. Every night after the lights went low, she would sit on the floor near the couch, not too close, never forcing it, and she would hold out a little food on the tip of her finger. For a long time, nothing happened. Luna would stare, she would sniff the air, and then she would retreat. Night after night, Sarah returned to that same spot on the floor. Night after night, she held out her hand. And night after night, Luna watched from the dark, trying to decide if this human was different from all the others. If moments like these move you, you already understand why these stories matter so much. Then, one quiet evening, everything changed. Sarah was sitting in her usual place, her finger held out, expecting nothing. Luna crept forward, slower than ever. She stretched out her small neck, and this time, instead of grabbing the food and running, she paused. Her tiny pink tongue reached out, and it touched Sarah's fingertip. It was the softest thing in the world. A single lick, a tiny gesture, but it carried the weight of everything Luna had been through, because for the first time in her life, she had chosen to trust. Sarah barely breathed. She didn't move. She didn't want to break the moment. She just let this little cat take her time, licking gently at her finger, learning that a human hand could be a source of comfort instead of pain. That was the turning point. That was the night the walls began to fall. By the way, I see some of you still haven't subscribed, and honestly, that breaks my heart just a little. If Luna's story is touching you, take 1 second and hit that subscribe button. It really does help stories like hers reach more people. Now, back to Luna. After that first tiny lick, things moved quickly. The next morning, Luna came out from behind the couch on her own. She was still cautious, still slow, but she came. She sat a few feet from Sarah and simply looked at her, as if seeing her clearly for the first time. A day later, she ate her breakfast in the open. A week later, she was following Sarah from room to room, and within a month, the cat who had once hissed from the shadows was curling up on the couch, purring softly, blinking up at the woman who had refused to give up on her. But there was still one thing missing. Luna had learned to trust a human. She had not yet learned to trust another cat. Sarah already had an older cat named Oliver, a calm, gentle giant who had watched this whole story unfold from a safe distance, and Luna wanted nothing to do with him. Whenever he came near, she would freeze, ears flat, ready to run. Oliver, being the patient soul he was, never pushed. He would simply lie nearby, close enough to be present, far enough to feel safe. Day after day, he waited, just like Sarah had. And then, one lazy afternoon, it happened. Luna walked across the living room, hesitated for just a moment, and then climbed up beside Oliver. She reached out with her small paws, and she wrapped her arms around him. Some stories are simply too beautiful to keep to yourself. Oliver didn't flinch. He didn't pull away. Instead, this big, gentle cat leaned in and held her right back. Two cats tangled together on the living room floor, one who had spent his whole life waiting to be needed, and one who had spent her whole life too afraid to need anyone. Sarah stood in the doorway with tears in her eyes. The kitten nobody could touch, the stray who hid for days, the little one everyone said would never come around, was now wrapped in the arms of a friend who would never let her go. Luna had finally found her family. The frightened eyes that once watched from the shadows were now soft and warm. The body that once trembled at every sound now stretched out in the sunlight without a care. She had learned that not every hand wants to hurt, that not every corner has to be a hiding place, that love, real love, is patient enough to wait for you. And maybe that's the most important lesson of all. Because healing doesn't happen all at once. It never does. It happens one gentle night at a time, one outstretched hand, one tiny lick, one patient voice in the dark, one small brave step out of the shadows and into the light. Sarah could have walked past Luna that first cold morning. She could have given up when the days of hiding turned into weeks, but she didn't. She chose patience. She chose kindness. And in doing so, she gave a broken little cat something she had never known before: a home, a family, a place to finally feel safe. If you're ever thinking about adopting, please remember the ones like Luna, the scared ones, the hiding ones, the ones who don't run into your arms right away, because sometimes the animals who take the longest to trust are the ones who love you the deepest once they do. Luna's story reminds us that love isn't always loud. Sometimes it doesn't meow at your door. Sometimes love just waits, quietly, patiently, hopefully, until one day a frightened little heart decides it's finally safe to open up. So let me ask you this: do we rescue these cats, or do they somehow rescue us? Tell me what you think in the comments below.